Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm thelegitcreep and I'm a professional body piercer. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about just some gross things that you see a lot as a piercer. And when I say gross things, generally they're just gross when you first start piercing because you're not used to it. You're like, oh, why am I seeing this? As you do it more and more, you realize that it's just a part of the body and it's just what the body can create and what happens when you own this shell that is a body. However, some of these things are things that can be helped and can be prevented and can be fixed, but people choose not to. I thought this would be a really cool topic of insight into a piercer's POV, just because we sometimes see things that we're not going to bring up, we're not going to tell you, we're not going to say anything about it because it doesn't need to be brought up, but we're seeing it and we're going, okay, or we're going, yucky. So the ultimate thing to begin with that we find is when you're cleaning an area for piercing, it can be disgusting. Now I'm just talking any area. I understand that some areas are grosser than others and they have buildup more than others do. But for instance, you could just be cleaning the area for a tragus and the dirt and discoloration that comes off onto the pad that you're cleaning it with is ridiculous. And I'm talking that some people you have to clean it multiple times just because the area is that dirty. Now I'm not trying to have a go at anyone's cleanliness, clean your bodies however you damn please, I'm not your mother, but yeah, you just realize that some people really don't clean themselves all that well. Obviously, when you're cleaning an area that someone has makeup on, that's obvious, it's gonna come off. People with fake tan, that's you can tell the difference. It's not always fake tan and makeup. Some people just have dirty skin that they don't cleanse very well, and it comes off and it's brown basically. It's just completely brown, and there have been times where I've cleaned multiple times. Normally one clean over is enough, but if you look at it and you see it's dirty, it needs to be cleaned again. You're basically wiping away the grime before you can get to the actual sanitization of the area. Another thing is that majority of people do not clean their navels or their belly buttons, as a lot of people will call them. They're very yucky places. So before I started piercing, I genuinely didn't believe that belly button fluff was a thing. Oh, it's a thing. It is a thing. Sometimes genuinely there's fluff. So from their clothes or whatever it is, might be in there. But when I think of what people described belly button fluff as when you were younger was you not cleaning your navel area, and it's a damn thing. There's a buildup in there. This person hasn't had a piercing there, but there's gunk. Your belly button doesn't excrete anything though, so it's just a buildup of just gunk that's been on you and your dead skin, I suppose. But yeah, people have a buildup in there. There's a bloody buildup. I'm not saying this is everyone, but I will find more often than not when you're cleaning out someone's navel, it is dirty and it needs to be cleaned again because no one really gets in there and gives it a good clean. I can't talk. I hate touching my own navel. I think it's the grossest thing in the world. Makes me sick to even think about it. It is pretty standard to have to clean it again. However, to have to clean out the gunk that's in there, wish that wasn't a part of my job. I don't really want to have to bathe you essentially. Going on from that as well, I'm not going to go into much detail on this, but there are other areas as well that there is buildup and stinky cheese. That's all I'll say on that matter. Any service that someone needs to get up in your space, please have a good cleanse. Scrub yourself. I don't care if you don't do it often, but just before someone has to get up in there, please give yourself a good cleanse. This is a PSA from anyone in a service industry where you're one-on-one working in on someone's body. Just clean yourself. Have a good clean. You're in such close proximity to these people that body odor can get very stinky because people aren't clean, obviously. I thank the Lord that I'm not a tattoo artist because they have to sit with people for hours. As a piercer, you're with someone for such a short amount of time compared to them that it's I can't really complain because they'll be gone soon. But sometimes you'll get times where lots of people are stinky that day. It's bleh. Poor tattoo artists have to sit with stinky people for hours and up in their regions. It's It's ick. Have a good clean, please, people. Thank you. Clean yourself just before. I don't care if you're dirty every other day of your life. Don't care if you never shower. Just please do it before you go into someone else's personal space, because we have to be very close to provide you with those piercings. Next is placky, 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 placky tongues. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan because dental hygiene is very, very, very important. I personally feel this way because I've had a lot of dental work because I had braces, I had many teeth pulled out. I've gone through a lot of pain is kind of what I'm trying to say to have the teeth that I have. I think it's very important to clean your teeth well and to look after your oral hygiene because dentistry, getting your teeth fixed is very expensive and it's very painful. And the worse you let it get, the worse and more expensive it gets. I just think like look after them while they're good, and you don't want to have to go through all the pain and expenses. It's the worst. It's not fun to like teeth hurt when you need to get shit done to them basically. When I see a tongue that is like thick with plaque, so you're going to be piercing it, I genuinely have turned people away because it is just like thick with plaque. The mouthwash that we give people doesn't like just remove plaque. It's there to kill the bacteria and make it like a clean slate for us to pierce. We can't be having like a huge thick wall of plaque. Like I'm talking thick. I've seen some thick walls of plaque on people's tongues that is just furry and green, and like I genuinely had never seen, like I didn't know your tongue could get that gross until I saw people's tongues that were just fucking like just caked in plaque. Like when was the last time you cleaned your teeth is what I want to know. It's not safe to then be getting an oral piercing if that's like your oral hygiene, especially your tongue. When a tongue is like that needs to be cleaned before we can pierce it, because the amount of bacteria that is already on there, that's just gonna feed straight into the new fresh piercing hole. It's unsafe and it's not responsible for us to be just going ahead with it because we're like, okay, yep, I'll just pierce that because like it's money, I'm just gonna do it. Like, no. Like it shouldn't be done. And people will get very mad about that because they think they shouldn't be turned away. Basically, if we were to say yes, we're setting the person up for problems. Like we basically have to do a risk assessment before doing a piercing. That's why we have to look at anatomy, because certain risks can come from piercing something that shouldn't be pierced. Like these are all things we need to take into consideration, and having a dirty surface area to pierce isn't clean, isn't sanitary, and doesn't come into infection control. Like no. It goes against everything you're taught in terms of infection and disease control. Like, no, don't do that. So another thing that we see in the mouth is calcium buildup. The most common piercing we will see this in is the tongue frenulum or the tongue web, so underneath your tongue. Oh my God, people will get this pierced and they will forget about it for like years and years and years and years and years. And calcium will build up and it essentially like cements the balls to the bar. And this is more commonly seen in externally threaded jewelry. However, it can happen to internally as well. It's most common there, I would say, because of where it is sitting as well in your tongue. Potentially, like the balls are both sitting in that same spot, so they're both going to get cemented at the same time, if that makes sense. It's because it's been sitting there for so long, you haven't changed it, you haven't taken it out to clean it even. That's the gross part, is it hasn't been changed for so many years. Most commonly it's people saying I've had this in for 5 to 10 years and like it cannot be like unscrewed. I've tried everything. You try and unscrew it and you cannot. This jewelry has to be cut out. Like it's so solidified in there, and the calcium, like, yeah, it cements it. It cements those balls to the bar so they cannot be taken off. So it's like stuck there. I mean, you could keep it in forever, but do you really want to? So that's pretty gross because it means that the jewelry has been sitting in there, hasn't been taken out or cleaned for years and years and years and years, and you really should be taking your jewelry out every so often to clean it. I haven't seen it happen to a tongue piercing, but I can imagine tongue jewelry could do the exact same thing if you left it in for that long. Let me know in the comments which one you are surprised by or thought was the grossest, or one that you just don't think you could handle if you're a piercer. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give a like down below, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell as well so that you're notified for all of my videos. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, and I will be back very soon. Bye.